Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's another spectacular Sydney spring day, and as you can see, the jacarandas are starting to blossom, and it is indeed a spectacular day. What I'd love to do today on this episode of Jim's 5am Club is to talk to you about a book, and the book that I've selected for this episode is entitled I Forgive You, But. This book was authored by a person who goes by the name of Jensen Salisbury, and offers a nuanced exploration of forgiveness that goes beyond simplistic notions of simply letting go and forgiving. Salisbury presents forgiveness as a complex and deeply personal process that involves acknowledging pain, setting boundaries, and fostering healing without necessarily condoning harmful behaviour. The book delves into the emotional, psychological, and relational dynamics of forgiveness, providing readers with tools to navigate the often difficult journey from hurt to wholeness. Salisbury's approach emphasises self-respect, honesty, and realistic expectations, encouraging forgiveness as a choice that empowers rather than diminishes. Drawing on both personal stories and therapeutic insights, the book helps readers understand that forgiveness is not a one-size-fits-all solution, but a path that requires patience, courage, and discernment. What we'll do is we'll step through a number of learnings and see what we can take and what we can incorporate into our inventory of skills, knowledge, wisdom, and personal power. So the first key message to come from this author is where we learn from her perspective that forgiveness is a personal choice, not an obligation, and Salisbury stresses that forgiveness should never be forced nor rushed, as it is a voluntary act that must come from genuine readiness. Another message to come from this author is that forgiveness does not necessarily mean forgetting or excusing the harm that one has received. The author here reminds us that forgiveness involves recognizing wrongdoing honestly, whilst refusing to let the offence define or control one's life. Setting boundaries is essential in the forgiveness process, and this is a powerful lesson that comes from this book. This book highlights that protecting oneself from further harm through clear boundaries is absolutely a crucial part of genuine forgiveness. Another key message that comes from this book is that forgiveness is as much about self-healing as it is about releasing the offender. Salisbury emphasises that forgiving benefits the forgiver by reducing resentment, and it also allows the freeing of emotional energy and an opportunity to foster a sense of peace. It is normal and healthy to feel anger and grief. That's another key lesson. Acknowledging and processing difficult emotions rather than trying to bury them and suppress them is necessary for authentic forgiveness and recovery. These are very, very important points. Forgiveness, indeed, according to this author, can coexist with justice and accountability. And the book argues that seeking forgiveness or consequences does not negate forgiveness. The two can indeed coexist in a balanced approach. Another message that comes from this book is that compassion toward the offender is a gradual and optional outcome. Developing empathy or understanding for the wrongdoer may emerge over time, but once again should not be rushed or coerced, is a learning. Forgiveness is also seen as a process and not as a one-time event. Salisbury reminds readers that forgiveness often unfolds over time, with ups and with downs, requiring both patience and self-compassion in order to get through, over, under, and away from it. Communicating forgiveness also is an important question, and it requires clarity, honesty, and authenticity. When choosing to express forgiveness, clear communication about feelings and boundaries help avoid the potential misunderstandings. And the last key point to come from this book is where the author reminds us that forgiveness empowers you to reclaim your life and to move forward. Ultimately, the act of forgiving helps individuals regain control over their emotional well-being and opens the door to renewed growth and freedom. This author, Karen Jensen Salisbury, in her book, I Forgive You, But, offers a thoughtful and realistic approach to forgiveness that honours the complexity of human emotions and relationships by emphasising choice, boundaries, and healing. Salisbury reframes forgiveness as a powerful act of self-care and empowerment rather than mere reconciliation or forgetting. Her compassionate guidance helps readers navigate the difficult terrain of hurt and betrayal with honesty and courage. And finally, ultimately, I forgive you, but encourages a path toward wholeness that respects both the pain endured and the possible peace, reminding us that forgiveness is a journey that unfolds uniquely and differently for each individual, but to remind us that we need to forgive in order to be forgiven. So thank you very much once again for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club on this most beautiful day down here at the Meadowbank ferry terminal. And as you can see, it is a spectacular day, and I look forward to coming to you again and chatting to you about the various OPE that we come into contact with, other people's experiences, and to journey and to partner with you on growing and developing and hopefully enhancing our lives with valuable knowledge, wisdom and potential power. Yasas, take care and bye for now.